Roundup with Realtor Nagaraj Annaya every Sunday from 12:30 p.m. to 1 p.m. PST on Bolly 92.3 FM.
Personal finance expert Susie Orman summed it up best when she said, owning a home is a key stone of wealth, both financial affluence and emotional security. And that sentiment is echoed and underscored every day by Nagaraj Annaya, your trusted Bay Area realtor. Namaskar, Bay Area. I'm Vijay Lakshmi, welcoming you to Real Estate Roundup with Nagaraj Annaya, brought to you by nagarajhomes.com, your one-stop shop for all things real estate. So if you're ready to get started on that journey into real estate, make sure to reach out to Nagaraj. And you can do that, of course, by logging on to nagarajhomes.com, or you can call him right now to talk about anything that's on your mind real estate wise, any questions and concerns that you may have. Studio lines are open and we're with you live on Bolly 92.3 FM. You can call in at 408-912-5038. That number 408-912-5038. We are also live on YouTube. Yes, folks, we are simulcasting on YouTube as well. And you can catch us there on Nagaraj Annaya's YouTube channel. You can put your questions down there as well in the comment section. And Nagaraj will be more than happy to take it from there. So with that, let me welcome Nagaraj. Happy Sunday, Nagaraj. How's it going?
Hi, Vijay Lakshmi, and happy Sunday to all the listeners out there. We are
Yes.
on YouTube Live too. Like and subscribe the channel also. The reason we are doing on a YouTube Live is like if you guys have missed out something in here, so that you can watch out later. And if you have any further questions, you can do reach out to me after the show or any time.
Yes, absolutely. And again, let me give out the number to call in to the studios if you're driving along and you've got a question on your mind. 408-912-5038 is the number to get in touch. And anything, nothing is big or small. Please feel free to share that, and you'd be doing a favor to the community as well, because often times what is on one person's mind is on everybody's mind. So you'll be doing that by asking that question. So Nagaraj, home prices are of course difficult to predict, and in the backdrop of what's been happening in the last few weeks, whether that's the tech layoffs that continue, or the collapse of the Silicon Valley Bank, or the crisis at First Republic, which is known as one of the biggest local providers of mortgage, and of course the interest rate hikes that are on as well. In the midst of all this, what are you seeing, and why do you think prices are not really reducing, or or are they still going up?
It's a great question, Vijay Lakshmi. This is the most asked question nowadays. We are seeing layoffs, we are seeing a bank collapse,
Yeah.
but still our prices are like staying strong. I mean, it's staying strong means better compared to last year. It's right. It is not like too lower, but it's a lower than 10%. So last week there was a one Milpita's house listed for 1.15 million. So you know how many offers it got received? It's a 38 offers received.
Wow.
Okay.
Amazing.
And more than sold for 1.4.
Okay.
Okay. So it is almost a 250K. The house was a 1200 square footage, 9,000 square footage lot. Okay. If the house has potential, but fixer upper. One more thing to notice is a top-notch schools. It's a fixer upper.
So it wasn't even anything great about.
Nothing to ready to move in. The great thing about the thing is, a lot of people don't watch out, is a lot, right? It's a 9,000 square footage lot. There's a lots of ease is happening to build on ADU. A lot of things are like, if you have a land is a king, right? The location is the king. So that is where a lot of interest came in for that house. Okay. So it's sold for more than 1.4. So what I'm trying to tell you is like, it's a location is that what's happening in. It's not like every home are getting. So there was one more house in Santa Clara just listed for, I think it was listed for close to 1.19 or like close to 1.2 million, just in 90 square footage. three bath, three bed, one bath.
Mm.
It's sold for almost a 70K.
Whoa.
Okay, it's just three bed, one bath.
Uh-huh.
Okay. But if you look at the comparables compared to a last year, it's almost a 10% drop.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's the one of the reasons, like the prices are lower compared to a last year, but prices are a little bit higher compared to a December. Okay.
Oh, okay.
December, it used to be a bit lower, still lower than this. Okay.
Mm.
I see that in the Santa Clara, I used to sell for almost like sometimes even below the list price. But now it's changed.
Yeah.
Okay. Because as the buyers are back from the vacation and a lot of interest in there. And one more good data to share you is, right, baby boomers, okay,
Mm.
now almost make up a 39% of a home buyers. Okay.
Yeah.
Most of any generation, and an increase from 29% last year.
Mm-hmm.
And one more thing is Generation Z, okay, now makes almost a 4% of the buyers. Okay. Let me tell you what is the baby boomers, or like baby boomers are like ages from 58 to 67 years old.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like old boomer buyers are like 68 to 76 years old. Okay. Which is almost a 39% they made up in 2022.
Mm.
And younger millennials, which is like 24 to 32 years old, they also made like basically it's a good buyers out there.
Okay. Okay. So it's a mix of these baby boomers and the
Yeah,
millennials.
the baby boomers are one reasons they are doing the purchase of the homes. Is like
Yeah.
a lot of reasons. One is like basically they want to move closer to the family, or they want to do a downgrade, they want to do an investment.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So these are all the data which keeps on. This is a survey conducted by National Association of Realtors, which
Mm-hmm.
gave us almost 39% is a huge data, which is
Wow.
basically who is purchasing the baby boomers data.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And one more thing, if you see the last one more survey conducted by the, this was a recent data. San Jose was like that in the top 10 of the millennials purchasers. Okay. That is also one of the huge data. Like it's like millennials who are buying in a San Jose.
Mm-hmm.
If
Mm-hmm.
you all see this,
Yeah.
even there's a job losses.
Yeah.
Good thing is like nowadays is like husband and a wife both are contributing. The one major factor has been like basically what I'm seeing is the H4 EADs are contributing to the income.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That makes a lot of difference out there.
Mm-hmm.
Even the
Double income, basically, right?
And one more thing is like you see the layoffs happen, the major tech fields happen. But last 2 years, if you see the data from them, you could have seen that how much income was raised from them, right? Like income was almost like I see that Facebook. I also worked on the tech sector. I know that how much the Facebook or Meta used to pay them during last year or one and
Mm-hmm.
a half years back, right?
Yeah.
All the
Mm-hmm.
big companies paid very well.
Yeah.
If the layoffs happening in is not, the employees was not aware, employees were aware, because if they're sitting on the bench they know that what's happening in,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? It's the only thing, some people like basically know early and they prepare for the interviews and they were able to get the other backup jobs and other stuffs. But what we are not, coming back to your question, the thing is like we are not noticing a major change.
Mm-hmm.
Still if the location is good,
Yeah.
there's, I think last week in the Milipita's house, if you had seen it, the people were standing in the line for the entry into the houses to check the open houses.
Okay. Uh-huh.
Okay, the crowd for the open houses are back again.
I see.
As going forward, I think we maybe in the June time frame, it might, prices might go up again depending on the one more thing is the interest rate. I think let's give out the number. So
Yes, let's do that. And of course, folks, if you are intrigued by what we're talking about, if you find yourself in this category, whether as a millennial or as a baby boomer, and you're looking to own the home of your dreams, you're looking as an empty nester to downsize or to upgrade, we have the experience you need to find a home in the Silicon Valley, and that's nagrajhomes.com. Nagraj Anaya, you can always count on him through the ups and downs in the Bay Area market that you could be facing, like we're talking about, all of the economics that is happening in the backdrop. Despite that, there is high competition, there are multiple offers, and Nagraj does his research to determine what is the best offer you can have without paying too much. So if you have questions about how to land your dream home, give us a call right now. And the studio lines, again, they're open, waiting for you to call in. 408-912-5038 is the number. 408-912-5038. And also live on YouTube on Nagaraj Anayya's YouTube channel. You can check us out there. You can also jot your questions down there as well. So anything that you're experiencing in the market, we'd love to know. And if you like to get your foot in the door there, of course, Nagraj Anayya is here to help you with that. So yes, Nagraj, go ahead. You were
One more
saying.
thing, they're seeing the interest rates are going up.
Yeah.
But there are some lenders who are giving in a better rate still now. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
they are advertising as a 5.75 or a 6.25, but I still see that some of the lenders for the arm rates, especially like 10-1 arms, right? Still, I see that it is like you can get to a 5.25, and if you have a funds to move to a savings account, I see that it's still around 4.75.
I
Okay,
see.
which is
Uh-huh.
really good rate.
Really good.
Like,
Yeah.
it
Mm-hmm.
is not compared to the last year beginning, but it's still a better rate for the buyers out there, the rate
Mm-hmm.
price. Okay,
Yeah.
that is the one of the reasons. Again, we see that buyers are jumping around, jumping in to buy the houses now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
And how is the inventory situation?
the inventory is picking up. One more thing is notice is like basically a lot of home buyers who already have the first house,
Mm-hmm.
out of 50%, they don't want to sell their first house. Okay,
Yeah.
because they've refinanced during a low interest rates. Okay, when they are refinanced during a low interest rates, you see that rentals are close to now. It's like even a 3 bed, 2 bath, 2000 square footage home, you can easily get a $4,500 to 4,000 because rental is also all time high right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that is why like a lot of buyers out there, they like basically they rent out their first property
Yeah.
and the second property because the requirements changes in.
That is also a question, right? People are confused as to if you want to buy a second home, then like you're saying, should I sell my existing home first and then go and venture to buy that second home, or
Yes.
should I buy one first and then, sell? So which comes first?
See, it is like comes down to income wise, how much down payment they have for the second house. If they don't have a down payment for the second house to buy, there are some lenders who gives us like called a bridge loan. Okay,
Okay.
the bridge loan, how does that work? Is like they go buy your current property. Okay, they will tell you not to pay the interest for few months so that you can go and buy your second property. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
you can still stay in your first property. Okay, but they will buy it. Okay, they will, mortgage company will buy it for you. They will give you 50% or something 70% depending on how the property is appreciated, so that you can use that money towards your second house.
I see. So they will buy the first house and
Yeah,
then give
they
you.
will buy the first house, then you
Mm-hmm.
move into your second house. Okay, then as a realtor you should help them to sell the first house.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So that's for, because in this tough market, right, what happens is if you sell your first house, where do you go to buy your second house?
Mm-hmm.
Because the prices are high,
Yeah.
it's difficult for you to get your
But will
second.
they pay you the market rate is the question.
Yeah, they do the property appraisal of the property.
Okay. Uh-huh.
So if they do the property appraisal by 17 days or something, they would be giving you a 60% or 70% to buy your second property.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they charge you like 1.5% of the purchase price usually, but the good thing is like they give you money so that you can use it all cash to buy your second house.
I see. Uh-huh.
Okay, that is very very helpful, just so that you no need to sell your first home.
Okay. Yeah. Sounds really
That is the
good.
one of the solution I can think about, like is like basically where you can, it's called as a bridge loan. Okay,
Bridge loan.
where it is like sell your first, don't, no need to sell, basically give it to a mortgage bank, they'll give you money so that you can go ahead and buy that. The second thing is you already have enough down payments to buy your second house.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and you so once you have the enough down payment towards your second house, you can go and buy based on the future rental of your current property, you can go and buy your second property. Because if your first property is going, the mortgage payments is happening, right? Then your income to DTI will reduce it. So that is why you need to make sure you will be considering the future rent, how much that property might go in. Based on that, you evaluate and you get your qualifications in, so that you can purchase your second property. Okay. Good thing about that is, like, there are a lot of lenders, even up to a 1.5 million purchase price, they can do a 5% down payment. Okay. Anything more than 1.5 up to a 2 million is a 10%. 2 to 2.5%, 2 to 2.5 million, it is a 15% of down payment. If you have this much of down payment or income level matches in, so you can go ahead and buy that. You can go into this route where basically based on your future rental consideration of your property, you'll go and buy your second property. And later, if you think like before doing that rental out, you can consider how much might be future selling of your do it. Like, don't consider too low, too high, consider average price, so that you can evaluate how much this you are putting a down payment for your second house.
Okay.
Right? Because there are a lot of families in there, like they're sure, like because when they moved in 7-8 years or 10 years back, right, like they would have like just to husband and wife, kids, right? But now there are that age, like where the parents are moving in, right? Parents in India are getting older, or are getting older. They want to come and stay with you. So you need a bigger house. That's one of the reasons. Or you might have bought a house with a 2-bedroom, or you bought in a house with 1,500 square footage. Like now your family size is growing in, so you need a bigger house for yourself.
Yes.
So in that case, you can think about the second option.
Right. Okay.
Or the third option is like basically you can rent out. If it breaks even in your current property, right, you can rent out and buy. I think we have one caller.
Yes. Yes. Hello and welcome to Real Estate Roundup. Your name, please.
Yeah, hi, this is Sriram.
Priyam.
Sriram.
Sriram. Yes. Hello, Sriram. Welcome. And what's your question for Nagraj?
Yeah. Thank you so much for taking the call. This is a really good program. I have a very basic question to Nagraj, please.
Go ahead. Thank you.
With a 5% down payment or maybe 10% down payment, depending on the loan amount, based on this topic that we're talking now, will there be something called PMI, private mortgage insurance, that we need to buy if we go with a down payment lesser than 20%?
Hi, Sriram. Thanks for calling in. It's a great question, Sriram. Yes, anything less than 20% down payment, you will be paying in a PMI. Okay, the PMI fees or the PMI depends on your credit score. If your credit score is good, your PMI would be less. But don't go based on what is a Redfin or a Zillow gives you a PMI. PMI is basically mortgage insurance, is like it's close to around 150, 200. Again, depends on what is amount you're borrowing in and how is your good credit score. Okay, it's a good thing to consider other than the HELOC, because HELOC is kind of another is like HELOC, where it's like you make the arrangement of a difference of the loan amount, but that is interest only and varies based on your market conditions. Right, interest today might be lower interest, tomorrow it goes again, it changes based on that. Instead of that, PMI is a better component. Once you have the remaining 10%, you can basically pay off, remove the PMI, or some lenders after 1 year, typically they do the appraisal of the property and remove the PMI. Does it answer your question, Sriram, or like you have any questions on that, Sriram?
Looks like Sriram has dropped, but Sriram, hope that, hello, are you on?
No, I think we lost him.
Thank you for the explanation, Nagraj. Sorry, if I can ask another question. Will the interest rate be affected whether you go with 5% versus 20% down payment? Meaning, with a 20% down payment, will I get a better interest rate overall?
No.
Thank you. I will listen offline.
Thank
Okay.
you. Mhm.
Thank you, Sriram. So, as Sriram's question was, let me repeat it. Like basically, Sriram is thinking like is asking for like if it is a 5% or a 20% down, is the rate changes. It's again depends on the lenders to lender. Some lenders, like especially credit unions, right? They're not changing the interest rates based on the down payment. Only thing it will change is the PMI. Additional would be a PMI. The PMI is again, as I told you earlier, depends on your credit score, okay, and how much is your loan amount. Okay, so when the lender, when you are doing a 10% or a 5%, the lender will go to the PMI company. They'll basically give all the information of the borrower based on
Mhm.
your scenario. They'll come up with the PMI. Usually, all based on my experience on all my client scenarios, it is somewhere on 120 to 200. Okay, if the credit card is very score is very bad, it might cross 300 or 350. For me,
Yeah.
that is lot better payments compared to the HELOC option.
Mhm. Why is that?
As I told you earlier, HELOC is an interest only. For example, you're making a 5%, another 15% or a 10%. For example, you're doing a 5%. Let's consider you're doing a 5% down payment. The remaining 15% would be in a HELOC.
Mhm.
Okay, another 8% would be a regular loans. So that 15%, if it's an HELOC, that 15% is an interest only, and it is tied to the market conditions. Since it is tied to a market conditions, your payments would not be the same always. Every month, depending on how the interest rate goes up, the
Then
payments also will go up.
I
But in
see.
your PMI, you know what is your monthly payment always.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
Okay, because it will not vary based on the market. Once you tie up the insurance, it is valid for basically an year. I mean to say until in a 1 year or a 2 years until you refinance. Or
Yes.
basically some lenders, as I told you earlier, within a typically it's in a 1 year. Okay, after
Mhm.
1 year, if you ask the lender saying that my property has been appreciated, now they'll remove your PMI. Or
Mhm.
you refinance it. Even the refinance, usually they tell you to wait for a year to remove the PMI. For me,
Okay.
it's okay because it's a 150 or a $200. I do the
Mm.
math like 200 into 12 months. It's just $2,400.
400. Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah.
that is better instead of like after 1 year you're purchasing in a property. If the property has like gone up for 50K or 100K, instead of you're wasting this 2,400, I
Yeah.
think it's a lot better. That's how the rough.
Yes.
See,
Rough estimate. Back of the envelope
real estate is all
calculation.
about the math, okay,
Yeah.
and this kind of in a risk. Okay,
Yes.
it's nothing. Even the stocks also is in a risk, but you need to look up how much risk it is. Okay, you reduce the risk based on the location where you purchase and what kind of property you purchase.
Mhm.
It comes down to the same thing. It's finally. And your initial question was like, why are you noticing the prices are not coming down?
Yeah.
This also answers it. One of the reasons is the risk is less. People are noticing because now the bank's limits are like up to 250K is what
Yeah.
is covering, right? So that is why they're thinking. I think caller is back. We can talk to Sriram.
Yes. Yeah. Hello, Shriram. Yeah. Are you back?
Yeah,
And
this is Sriram again. If I may ask another quick question, please.
Yeah, go
yes,
ahead,
it has
Sriram.
to be
How,
quick because we are short on time.
how soon can somebody refinance after they purchase a home? Is there any time limit, like 6 months, 1 year, or can they do it within a month if the interest rates go down? Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Sriram. I think as the Sriram's question, right? Like you can refinance immediate, okay, but the PMI will not be removed if you go with a different lender. They would suggest the PMI should be there for until in 1 year, because for the bank it's like you still doesn't have that 15% difference in, right? So
Mhm.
that's why the minimum they tell you up to 1 year the PMI can't be reduced, or
Uh-huh.
the PMI will stay, but your interest rate can be reduced.
Okay. Mhm.
Okay, so a
Yeah.
lot of my clients does that, like basically they go to refinance it, the rates goes down but the PMI component still raise, or otherwise you need to arrange for the remaining 15% or a 10% down payment.
Mhm.
Because
Mhm.
reason the PMI came into a factor for the bank, it's a risk if they're lending it, right? So
Yeah.
because they're doing in
They
a,
have to safeguard their
yeah,
interest.
so that
Yeah.
is why the PMI component jumped in.
Mhm.
Okay. I
Yeah.
think last week we did discuss about where the California is giving us a 20%. But the 20% there is the problem is if they're giving in a 20% CalHFA, where the California is giving a 20% to the first time home buyers. But the risk with that is higher interest rate.
Oh, okay.
Okay. It comes with a higher interest rate. But
Mhm.
still, if you can go ahead and buy with the 5%, your payments are typically lesser. When I was
Mhm.
doing math for my other client, with a 5%, you go ahead without a 20% down support from the California, you still your payments are lesser.
Ah, okay.
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 With the Cal HFA rule is like basically when you do a refinance, you need to pay back, or like basically when you sell the property, you need to pay up to a 20%. Good
Mhm.
thing is for the 20%, you are not going to pay the monthly payments for that. You do it only when you sell the property or refinance it.
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay? But still, with 5% interest rates are a lot better
Yes.
compared to a 20% support from the CalHFA. This is only for
Yeah.
the 20% support from the California.
Right.
Otherwise, for me, the 5% or a 20%, the rates are the same.
Same.
Only
Okay.
the difference what you would be considering is the PMI component.
Mm-hmm. So a lot of great inputs right here on what you can do from a bridge loan to, seeing your future payment, your rental payment and all of that. So folks, if you have any questions for Nagraj after the show, we're almost out of time. Call him at 408-805-4653. 408-805-4653 is his number and he's happy to help. Or just log on to nagarajhomes.com. That's Nagaraj homes.com. And of course, we are with you every Sunday, 12:30 to 1 p.m. Make a date with us every Sunday, and you'll be happy you did when you venture into real estate. So thank you, Nagraj. Excellent
Thank you so
session
much, and
yet
like and
again.
subscribe the YouTube channel. Do share your comments too. Thank you.
Absolutely. And this is Vijay Lakshmi for Real Estate Roundup. Thank you, and have a great, wonderful week. Namaskar.